All right, folks, good morning. I'm meteorologist Tom Schmidt with Ozarks First in Springfield, Missouri, and I've got a picture to share with you. This picture comes from a friend of ours here at the Ozarks First weather team, Mr. Brad Stowe. Here we go. That's right. Mr. Brad Stowe's sister in Halfway, Missouri, found this in her yard. All right. Kind of a strange thing. You might see this and think, my gosh, what is this? Where did this come from? So those might be some things that come to mind. Might be thinking, well, once you investigate it a little more, you might find out that this is actually a weather balloon from the National Weather Service, the office here locally being in Springfield, Missouri. You might ask yourself next, well, now that I've got it, what do I do with it, right? Well, okay, real quick. You don't have to do much. You just know that the Weather Service doesn't want it back. If you find this, it's yours. Have at it. Keep it. Put it in a frame, throw it away. Do whatever you like with this weather balloon. But kind of a neat thing, right? Something you don't think of really finding all that commonly, but it does happen. The Weather Service in Springfield launches 2 balloons every day. Those balloons go somewhere, so every day you got these things falling out of the sky somewhere in a radius that changes based on weather conditions. You're going to find these weather balloons just twice a day. They're launched. And every year, about 76,000 weather balloons are launched all across the country. So with that, you can expect to see, you'll find a weather balloon on occasion. And the instrument attached, that little white box, is called a radiosonde. The radiosonde is what gathers the data for the Weather Service and sends it back remotely. And so that's why if you find this balloon on the ground, they don't need it back, okay? If you want to bring it back, sure, go ahead, but they don't need it. You're free to keep it, throw it away, do whatever you like with it. It is up to you. All right, so the type of equipment the Weather Service here in Springfield uses is called a DFM-17. This is it. And they were so kind enough to actually point out and let you know that, hey, this is a harmless weather instrument. So if you find this, don't be alarmed. It's not a Chinese spy balloon. It's a weather balloon. 2 of these launched every day. All right. That's kind of what it looks like. Again, now there may be some gas still in the balloon itself. Sometimes they're found halfway inflated still, but largely they're all the way deflated. But if there's any gas or any kind of air inside the balloon still, just know that it could be hydrogen. And of course, many of us know hydrogen is flammable. So try to release it without using any flame nearby the balloon, okay? Okay, looking at this now, this is what the radiosonde produces. It's a map of the upper atmosphere. This is called a skew-T diagram. It's called skew-T because those lines on there that run at an angle diagonal from bottom left to the top right, those are your temperature lines. So skewed temperature diagram, okay? Make sense? The red line is temperature. The green line is your dew point temperature. There's a lot of other stuff on here too. But this is the data being collected by those weather balloons. And that little device, a little radiosonde box, sends this information back to the Weather Service. Okay, so it has air temperature, dew point temperature, wind speed, okay, atmospheric pressure, records all those and sends it back to the Weather Service. It also calculates other things based on those parameters. You can find things like CAPE. That's the other words, the convective available potential energy, the amount of instability in an atmosphere. That's helped calculated by these weather balloon launches. You can find what they call a lapse rate, basically how quickly an air parcel cools as it rises, how quickly is temperature changing from surface to the upper air, and other things. You can find what they call the lifting condensation level, or level of free convection. All those things determine, well, where's our cloud height going to be today? Where's the freezing line? All those things can be helped determined based on what that balloon data sends back. Okay, so again, that balloon was found near Halfway, which is halfway between Buffalo and Bolivar. So there's a website, if you really want to dive in, really want to get nerdy, find out more like, wow, a balloon. Wonder if I can go find one. It's not on private property. Might have a good chance here. This is a website called SondHub, sondhub.org. All right. The green dots on this map are where balloons are launched. Excuse me. Not that. It's this white dot here. The white circles are where balloons are launched from. In this case, Springfield National Weather Service at the Springfield Airport. You can click on it and go back and look at historical data of balloon launches and balloon tracks. And year 2025, June is, of course, the 6th month of the year. Fetch that data. Here we go. So zoom out. We can see all the balloons and their tracks that have been launched from the Springfield National Weather Service office since June 1st through June 27th, okay, including today, this morning's launch. You can see kind of the pattern, fairly wide, okay? They can be found all the way up towards Lake Ozark with this one here. It's a long ways. They can also be found as far south in this example as, I believe, Mountain Home, Arkansas, right there. And there's been cases, actually, where these balloons will be found hundreds of miles away from their launching site. And so in those cases, the data from the balloon launch isn't all that accurate. Most days, though, as you can see here, stays fairly local, okay? That produces better data. But the balloon launch we're interested in is the one that landed near halfway. And you can see here, oh, man, there's two of them. So there's halfway, right? Here, there's halfway. Okay, here's Buffalo, there's Bolivar, and halfway is located halfway in between those places. Balloon launches could be either one of these. Let's do that again. Either one of those. But those are balloon launches right there. It took place in the month of June. Now, this one landed recently. I imagine it was found last night or this morning. Maybe launched last night, found this morning, something like that. So if we take a look here, this one here was launched the 21st, a couple days ago. Not bad. This one here was launched the 26th, yesterday, on Thursday. So that's likely the balloon that Mr. Brad Stowe sent a picture of. And again, there it is. That balloon can be found right here. There you go. That's where it was. Found on Brad Stowe's sister's property, halfway, south of halfway by a couple miles. That one right there's the culprit. So a little investigation there. Found us that that's the one that they found from last night. That's where the balloon launch yesterday ended up. It's right there, south of halfway. So pretty fascinating. Again, if you're interested in more about that, this website's called SondHub, sondhub.org. It's open access. It's a little tricky to get the hang of at first. I come on every once in a while, and I feel like I always have to relearn how to use it. But once you figure it out again, you're like, oh, okay, simple enough. Not too bad. Weather balloons are important, okay? They give us kind of a building block or starting point forecast for the upper air. We really don't have any other way of getting direct measurements of the upper atmosphere aside from weather balloons. Every office in the National Weather Service launches 2 weather balloons a day, one in the morning, one in the mid-afternoon, all right? That data is then one of the elements that is ingested into computer models, which helps us, gives us a good forecast of what's going to happen next. It starts off at the current state of the atmosphere. We use physics and calculus equations to move the atmosphere forward, and the starting point has to do with weather balloons, among other data, surface observations, satellite observations. Weather balloon data is just a piece of that puzzle. Now, the recent cuts earlier this year from NOAA and within the Department of Commerce, they've had some Weather Service offices had to cut back or eliminate balloon launches. All right, so that did come into some headlines earlier this year. And there's still a few offices. I want to say there's still one down in Florida and one up in Montana also, and Alaska, that still does not do weather balloon launches. However, I know that NOAA was going to be rehiring some of those positions now that they've had a chance to shake things out and see exactly what was needed and what is needed and what's not needed. So good for them. Hopefully they'll hire back some of those positions, get these balloon launches back to 100% of the puzzle. But there you have it. If you find a weather balloon, keep it. It's yours. Weather Service says they don't want it. We've got one here at the station. We've got one. We take it with us when we do weather school and weather class, and people always find it interesting. And it's non-damaging. If it falls out of the sky, it's in a styrofoam box, very lightweight equipment. If it hits something, it's not going to damage it. So don't worry about stuff falling out of the sky. It's harmless. It is harmless. So don't worry about that. But if you find one, kind of cool. Don't see them all over the place, but don't be alarmed. The weather balloon. And again, they don't want it back. Keep it for yourself. If you find one, it is kind of cool, though. kind of rarity. All right. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Today is Friday, Friday, June 27th. And from the Ozarks First Digital Desk, I'm meteorologist Tom Schmidt.